Guitar strings, yeah? Every guitarist needs them, whether it's acoustic strings, electric strings, bass strings, or multi sort of packets of strings. You're always going to need them and every guitarist buys them, yeah? But how often do you change your strings and how much are you spending? Some people are paying, you know, anywhere between, let's say, $7 for a packet of string, all the way to $10 or $12 or $15, or even above $15 if it's, you know, sort of chromed out strings, or if it's, you know, coated, you know, silicon coated strings or anything like that. Sometimes it can be so much money just per packet of strings. Guitarists actually put off, you know, when they change the strings. They know that they should, they feel a little bit dirty, they're not sounding great, they're not staying in tune. They know that they should change the strings, but sometimes it's just way too expensive. So I'm going to show you how I've been buying my strings for years now. Here we go. Strings. Now, as you may have picked up when I was throwing strings at you, that I use D'Addario strings. Here you go. So I use D'Addario strings on my acoustics and my electrics, and I use 10 to 46s on my electrics. How often should you change strings? Well, the answer is obviously going to vary between person, between temperature, between how much you sweat in your hands, how much you're playing. There's so many different variables. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to come up with one answer for everybody, so I'm just going to give sort of a rule of thumb. Sort of for me, if I'm playing, you know, only like a few hours a week, then maybe I'll change strings once a month. If I'm playing for a few hours a day, maybe every, you know, 2 to 3 weeks. It all depends. Now, if you go into a music shop and you go to buy just sort of one packet of strings, like a single packet, you could be looking at spending anywhere from $12 to sort of $15. Now, this is in Australia. You know, over in sort of the UK or America, you could be looking at spending $8 to $10, something around that, yeah? So it's a lot of money per packet of strings, and so sometimes, you know, especially if you're a student or anything like that, you could think, yeah, they're a little bit dirty, but I'll just keep playing. But here's what you need to do. So you need to start buying your strings in sets of 10, or even beyond that if the manufacturer makes them. So what I've been doing, and you could do this anywhere in the world, is just going to eBay. Just typing in, you know, just logging onto eBay, typing in the brand of guitar strings and even the model number if you know them, and just looking for a set of 10, or even typing in set of 10. And what's been coming out for years now is that they've always been around sort of $45 to $50 for 10 sets of strings. So what that means is that instead of paying, you know, for a single packet, where you live, what this means is instead of paying $7, $8, $10, or $12, or even $15 for one packet of strings, you're paying $4.80, you know, to $5 per packet of strings. Now, $4 to $5 per packet of strings, that's starting to sound pretty good, and that's sounding like a lot more people can afford, you know, to change strings 3 weeks or monthly, as opposed to $10 to $15, which can seem like a lot of money. And then, you know, each time you break a string or you want to change strings, you've got to go all the way down to the music shop and buy another packet. Whereas if you've got that set of 10, you know it's going to last you 10, you know, could even last you 10 months of the year. That's quite a long time before you need to place another order. If you find yourself that your strings are getting quite dirty, and it could be from temperature, it could be, I don't know, you've got dirty hands. Could be. If you find yourself and that's happening a lot, and you don't maybe have a packet of strings to change, or you don't have any money or something like that, just clean your strings and you'd be surprised that you can get a bit of that feel back, a bit of that tone back. And there's a video just down here if you want to look at how to clean your strings. But so the important thing is that why would you change strings? Well, as strings get older, just like a spring, they start to stretch out, yeah? Once they sort of stretch out, they start to, inevitably, at the end of their life, they don't sound as bright, they don't sound as full or as warm as new strings. They just don't have those tonal characteristics. And often, they can just start falling out of tune a little bit as well. Guitar strings. Every guitarist has them, obviously, because your guitar is going to need them, otherwise you're not going to be able to play. So if you want the best sounding strings, if you want the best sounding instrument, if you want them to feel the best when you play it and just to overall be louder acoustically, you need to have new strings. And so changing new strings, like I said before, who knows when to do it? It's all on your personal preference. It's all about how often you're playing guitar, daily, weekly, monthly, and how much you can afford. But when buying strings, it's so much cheaper to do it over the internet. Like I said, I do it from eBay because when I order my packet of strings for $47.99, it's free shipping and it comes straight to the door, nice and quick, very, very easy. It's coming straight from Australia. Whereas, you know, if you're overseas, you could look at Guitar Center, you could look at Amazon, Anderton's, all those different music shops. Just do a quick web search and just have a look whether they're selling 10 packets of strings, but it's so much cheaper to buy a big packet of 10. Now, if buying products online isn't your thing, just ring and double check your music shop's stock those 10 sets before you go in, because I've often found that a lot of them just don't, or they're just crazy priced and they're just way higher than they should be. Like my music shop sells them for you know, $60, which for 10 sets is still pretty good. Is still, you know, $6 a packet. But if you do want the cheapest, this is just how I've found them. But I really want this video to ask the question, where and how do you find the cheapest strings? If you guys have other options, leave a comment below. Okay, bye guys. Where do you guys get your strings from? These guys. Where do you get all of these strings from that you're spending money on, you know, all the time, every sort of week and fortnight and month? Where do you buy your strings from?